Hello everybody, welcome back to 366 Days of Hope. So I have a special treat. I am going to make Sujebi. So I'm going to try it a little different than the way I made it last time. Honestly, when I first made it, it was absolutely delicious. My tongue got tied there. But the problem was it took me forever with the dough. So I'm going to try something new. We'll see how it turns out. But I think that basically as long as you have the base, you're good to go. You can always play around with the dough as it's something that I'm still perfecting. And guys, this is real life. I'm not going to put on, like a facade of like every dish I make is going to be perfect. No, but it's something that we can keep encouraging each other to grow in and to keep learning. And this is what this channel is all about, just learning and growing in every facet of our life and being merciful to ourselves. And so let's check it out on how I made my sujebi. So the first thing to do is to make matchsticks with the zucchini, and yes, I did have help today, so it was so nice. I can't be any more appreciative when I have that aid. Then in a pot I added my kelp and onions to basically let it come to a boil to set the base for our soup. While that was happening, I made my dough, which was basically adding some flour and water and salt and olive oil. And basically I just mixed everything together and tried to make it as smooth as pizza dough, but it was a little bit thinner than that. So I did end up adjusting it by adding more flour and really ended up stirring it up really well so that it became a bit thicker. After I gave it a hearty stir, I ended up letting it sit for about 10 minutes, and then I came back to it and it was definitely smooth and the consistency was definitely more to my liking, and I really ended up liking this texture personally. Once the soup started to boil, I then added my minced garlic in there, and then I added in some of my vegetable bouillon. Now, this probably would have been the best point for me to have done my dough, honestly, rather than have added the vegetables, because you need to have it come to a boil. And that way, when you add in the rest of your vegetables won't be so overcooked. But I ended up doing it backwards, and then it became a little bit more well done than I wanted. But basically, the way I did it was with a spoon. So I got inspired because I watched one of my friends who is Korean making it, and this is the way she did it. And I thought, oh gosh, this was way better than having to tear the dough, which is what I did the very first time I made it. And it took me almost an hour to do that. And so I just did not want to hang in and do an hour. And this personally for me was easier. I just wish I added more dough, because this would have made it so even more delicious. Is that even a sentence? This would have been much more delicious if I had a lot more dough in there. And so what the spoon does is it stretches it out and makes it a little bit flat, and it gives it this very nice texture to it. And I just really love this sujebi style this way, because sujebi is like ripped. It's actually, I think it means like ripped dough or something along the lines of that. But as you can see here, the end product was pretty good, but definitely my potatoes were so well done. I mean, it just melted in your mouth like butter, and it was still super delicious. But I would say this was definitely a really, really awesome broth, and it was so yummy and cozy. It's perfect for days when it's super cold, so definitely worth trying. And I know traditionally that the kelp is removed, but honestly, I personally like it there. It does not have to be the way. This is Korean inspired, not totally done by a Korean. So don't hate on me too much for trying. All right, I feel like there's probably a bunch of Koreans are gonna be like, oh my gosh, you did it so wrong. But listen, I didn't have everything. And also because I made it vegan, like I'm not gonna put the fish sauce. Yes, I understand that most of it generally has it. I just don't have that, and I wouldn't put it in there anyways just because I don't necessarily like the taste. But if you like the flavor, you could probably add in more soy sauce if you wanted. I know I used vegetable bouillon, which is not common, okay, with the sujebi, but don't kill me. It was so good though. I really liked it, and I wish I had put in a little bit more dough, because that would have made it so much more like sujebi-ish, if that makes sense. So my tip is I probably would have done more of the dough, but then again, I'm trying really hard not to be over on my carbohydrates, but the dish was good. I also would say throw in your veggies at the last minute and not first, mainly because what I discovered is that they got really soft, a little too soft for my comfort, but still, the broth was still amazing. I mean, that broth was so good. Nonetheless, with that said, guys, may you live, thrive, and be healthy. Take care. Bye.